Good evening and welcome to Dog Talk. I'm Dan Camilleri.
And I'm Laura McKillop. We'd like to start by thanking Enduro for their ongoing support in bringing you our fortnightly Q&A. Tonight we're fortunate enough to be speaking with Michael Clark from Michaela Kelpies.
We're almost lost here now. I don't
That's
know where
right.
we're going.
Just jump into it.
We'll just jump into it. G'day, mate. How you going?
Good evening. How you going?
Good, thanks, buddy. We've got our lines there where we start, but we've changed it over the last couple of months, and I'm like, I don't even know where we are. Let's just yarn. What'd you get up to today, mate?
Mate, good day today, Dan. We got a bit of gear ready. Got a big Wagyu bull sale on Thursday. Hung out with the Backtrack boys a little bit today. They saw a few of the dog trainers for me today with the Backtrack boys at Milo. Down to a property, bit of a property inspection this afternoon. Took some photos, mate, and then back in the office. So I was out in the sun most of the day. It was good.
Shit, look at you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's your day to day? Like, that sounds like you're doing a whole different heap of things within the day. What's your actual job?
Within the community, by
So I am a real estate agent / stock and staging agent. I work for a local company here in Armidale, Armitage and Buckley. So it's sort of been going 50 years this year. So it's pretty cool to be a part of that. So yeah, work for those guys here in Armidale, and we have a sale here in Armidale every fortnight with the cattle, and every in Guyra with the sheep every fortnight, and that'll be transitioning into a weekly sale when the lambs come in. And yeah, we sell a bit of real estate and have quite a big sale yard business and auctions plus and stuff. So yeah, it's a real good company to work with, and yeah, I love my job. So it's very fortunate, and get to work with dogs too. So that's even better.
If anyone from work's listening, mate, how about that for promotion? You just plug the business hard.
In the first 2 minutes.
All over it. And mate, not going to let that other bit slide that easy, mate. Working with Backtrack there, what do you find yourself doing with the people at Backtrack, the young fellas at Backtrack?
Just lucky that, pretty good mates with Milo, and we need a few sheep shorn, or, need a few jobs done and stuff. We give the boys a call and they come out, and yeah, it's just interesting watching the dynamic there with the different kids and I guess different skill sets and where they're at life. So yeah, just watch Milo with them and maybe give them a few pointers if we can. And yeah, it's quite good to help out. I don't do a really lot compared to anyone else, but it's just good to see what they're doing. And it's a great thing. It really is.
It is, mate. I was fortunate enough to catch up with Francesca and their crew when they were in Sydney here a couple of weeks ago, around a fire for a few hours and have a yarn, mate. They're fantastic bunch of people, and the young people they've got around them that are still influencing the younger people. Yeah. Absolutely amazing, mate. I actually brought that up at Rough Track the other day just to see the social discipline. They're doing fantastic things up there.
Just the dedication, mate, to the cause. It's just great to see. There's no pathway for these kids if it's not there. So, it truly is a great thing. Bernie started many years ago and has got everyone else on board. And there's nowhere to go but to jail, I think, if they're not there. So as many they can save as they can. I think it's just great. Yeah.
Mate, having your fingers in that many pies around Armidale, how are you going to fit the being a mayor in there?
Yeah, too many skeletons in the closet, mate, for me to be mayor.
Mate, always been in Armidale, or have you shifted around? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Born and bred in Armidale, mate. Yeah, I was born and bred here. Went to school here. Grew up in town, but always loved the bush. We used to do a fair bit of hunting and stuff as kids and get out in the bush. And dogs started a bit there. We started pig chasing and had pig dogs and that sort of thing. So went down that path and left school, mate. Went up north for 12 months up to Winton on a sort of mixed grazing. We're still in the good country there where we still had a few sheep before it got into the full-on cattle country, and then come back around here and started working on farms and stuff. And that's when sort of got exposed to the working dogs and what they can do, and just sort of went from there.
Yeah, cool, mate. And like growing up in town and then moving up and like the hunting, but so much involved in the farming, like how did you have a mentor, or how did you get hooked on that particular side of things?
Just always loved the bush. Just, always loved being out there, and always had a couple of potty calves as a kid and chooks and that sort of stuff, and just always loved that side of things. So it was pretty easy for me to just want to be out there and do it, and it just felt like it was a bit of a part of me. So we just went that way with the career path and haven't looked back.
Any mentors or anyone you jumped on the tailcoats of you'd like to mention that really kicked you along with your stockmanship?
Definitely. Sort of when I come back from Winton, a good mate of mine, Denny Tickle, got me a job down at Sundown Valley, which is the Stathams used to own that, so that was round built sheds. It's sort of 70,000 acres and 40,000 sheep, and I think it was 7 or 8, might have been about 5,000 head of cattle off the top of my head, just quite a few years ago. Went down there, and he had quite a few handy dogs, and just started getting into a bit, and then they changed a bit the way the structure was there, and started getting contractors in to do most of the animal husbandry, and we just sort of looked after the cells. And Gary Milgate was the guy that sort of probably influenced me the most. He came in to do the contracting. He was Kagella Kelpies, or is Kagella Kelpies. He's sort of retired now and hasn't got any dogs, but I was that bloke that got that dog from the bloke down the road for nothing, and then he knew a mate that had 2 dogs that I got that by the time I had 15, 20 dogs come through the kennels all any good, Gary sort of pulled me aside one day and said, every time I take you under my wing. He brought me over, and he had this lovely big blue and tan pup there, and he showed me a few things with him. And back then, pup money, if you bought a pup, was like $300. And he said he was all but broken in. He said he'd sell him to me for $300, and I thought that was just Christmas, and that sort of probably started my path down dogs with a pedigree and breeding and spending a bit of money. And he was the first dog I took trialing, and did really well with him. I got him run over doing a bit of driving with Gatesy. That broke my heart a little bit, but that was sort of definitely the transition into that. And I grew up with a bloke too, used to live up the road a bit, named Justin Toombs. You probably know him, so used to hang around a bit with him and watch him, and sort of pretty cool what he could do with the dog. So I thought let's get into it, and that sort of started the pathway into it.
Geez, you hang around some rough company there, mate.
Hey, I tell you what, it's been a few dry gullies with Toomsy, I can tell you, but it's been some good fun. He's an amazing handler and stockman, and he's pretty cool to watch. So it's been good.
Dude. I don't think there's a day I don't get a message from the bloke. He's just a good dude.
He certainly is. Yeah. So that sort of started me off. Yeah. And bred a few dogs here and there, and got a few more off Gary, and sort of life sort of changed a little bit for me. Working on farms. We went from Sundown to Brookside, which was a Santa Gertruda stud, and those guys had a heap of sheep as well. And broke my collarbone on a motorbike chasing a bull one day, and that sort of few operations and things led me to sort of get off the land for a bit. Came to town and entered the real estate game, and sort of drifted out of the dogs for many years. And those people always had a couple around me, but they never had much work and stuff. And we left the real estate, got into the banking industry for a while, and a good mate there in the bank decided that we should start up a bit of a company and lease some country. And thought, if we're going to lease some country, I better get some dogs. And that sort of started down that path again. And probably nearly 8, 9, 10 years later, here we go again. So back into it, and loving every moment of it, and having plenty around me again, and getting back around good people. It's been good to get back into it. Yeah.
Would you say the passion is a little bit harder now because it's like something you had and you knew what it was, then you're missing it for a while, and then now you've embraced it and you're just probably gone over the topic, like just gone nuts again? Like,
I wouldn't say nuts, but maybe just a bit disappointed I didn't keep it going, and just dipping my toe the whole time and done a little bit more during that stage where I didn't have dogs. So probably just a bit disappointed there. But no, I wouldn't say over the top, but definitely I'm probably a lot more competitive than what I was, and pretty keen to get stuck in. So that's probably the main thing that I've picked up on. And I've probably worked out how my brain works a bit. You know, for people that know me, my valves bounce pretty high. You know, my motor revs out, and I got to catch my thoughts sometimes and just slow down. So that's been interesting on the, bit of a new learning process on breaking myself into training dogs and stuff. So yeah, that's certainly been interesting.
Actually, on that, like, how much influence have dogs had on trying to slow down to communicate?
Oh, I probably, in the early days, I probably didn't realise how fast and how on the gas I was till sort of, the last sort of 4 or 5 years. It's like, I was having a day the other day with Milo, and the first thing he said was, slow down, mate. Just, you're walking too fast. Put your hands down beside you and just slow down. It's like, yeah, that's just what I've got to do. I just got to slow down. Yeah, so that's quite interesting. Yeah, that's quite getting that side of it. And the type of dog I tend to gravitate to is that dog that's pretty full noise and likes movement and likes pushing. Just I find that contrast quite interesting as well. Yeah.
That was my next question. He already answered it for me. Well, what do you like in a dog?
Oh, I like a dog that's got a fair bit in them, that just, has that desire, that just, you send them up the race and they come back through and they're just, send me again, boss, just send me again. What do you want me to do? A bit of strength. Competed in the USD this year for the first time, and I love that principle, that all-round type dog. That's definitely, the path I want to go down and want to chase those type of dogs more. It's just that willingness to do it for you, and just virtually that, they want to die for you. They really, really want to give it all. That's the sort of dog that I want to have around me, that I can let him off the chain or her off the chain, and I know I can do anything. And they just want to. Well, they want to die for you. Yep. And
have you always been with the Kelpies?
Yeah, I used to have a few collies, but mainly always the Kelpies. Like I said, being up in the rev meter a bit, I sort of want a dog to do that as well. But always had a collie or two with me, and I got another collie pup the other day, so it's going to be interesting to see how we go, into the future and getting them broke in and see what happens.
Any particular lines you like to follow? Any dogs?
My favourite dog, my little handy dog I've got at the moment, he's one of Toomsy, so it goes back to George, grandson of George. I like that George stuff. There's a big saturation that up here, but it just, everything that I want. So they sort of seem to have it in them. They're tough. They've got plenty of strength. They want to work. They're pretty versatile. Just got a few with a bit of Capri Red in at this time. Just try that. I'll try that bloodlines at the moment and just see how we go there. Got another young bitch that we've just bred, going back to a bit of that Peter Pearson stuff. His son Zeb's got a good dog. So I'll try anything as long as they've got those qualities that I've mentioned before. I really don't have a bias either way to what prefix is in front of it, as long as it can do the job.
Oh, that's cool.
And with your professional, I suppose is probably the right word for it, having stock that have to be presentable, like how important is like having that right dog, and even like the way we handle stock, like in terms of pressure relief and whatnot?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. We in the sale yards, you got to go pretty quick to get everything drafted up and done, but at the same time, it's got to be done right. We'll often do a lot of mustering and stuff for clients. We're a full service agency, so we'll do just about everything. So it's just, you go to some shows and they have dogs, the cattle haven't seen dogs and stuff before. So it's pretty handy to have the right stock mindset on your dogs and get the job done and get it done right, and doing it calmly and right is definitely the way to go.
So when you say like, can you elaborate a bit on that?
Oh, well, it's nothing for us to go out and muster a paddock for clients, mark the calves and get them ready, and put the NLS tags in and stuff like that, or whatever it may be. We might just have to get some cattle in for them to get them to sale and stuff. It's not just we're standing at the sale yards waiting for them to turn up. We're happy to get them in, help them deliver them, and go from there. So it's probably a little bit different that way, but you know, it works for us. And on the flip side, you know, you get to work your dogs and enjoy what you're doing. Like I said, be out in the sun and driving about.
That's cool. So, like, even if you had like someone with sheep and they're coming in, they were a bit daggy. Like, you guys had organised to get them crutched and maybe like muster them, get them crutched.
Yeah, we
organised
muster them and help them in and get it organised. Sometimes you got absentee owners that who aren't here and stuff. So you know, we're more than happy to get in and do that sort of stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, so your dogs might, even if they're not massive dogs, like they were getting heaps of variety in different work and applications as well.
A lot of variety, and I lease a block as well too, Dan. So you know, we've got to do it over a weekend as well. So yeah, for sure. Yeah.
How many dogs are you running, like, in your main team as such?
Only a couple or three, Laura. To be honest, I've got quite a few younger dogs there, and just sort of weeding through those. I'll have a few sale dogs this year for the Collins Hay sale we've got up here in Glencoe that we have in November. You know, I like to support that sale. It's been good to me over the years, and it's a good service. It's a good sale. We need a sale up here in the north, so yeah, I always make sure I've got one or two for that each year as well. Yeah. I don't retire.
And
I don't retire. I'm not going to retire from selling dogs, but you know, I enjoy preparing them, and yeah, I help out with the sale and do a bit of announcing and stuff and that there. So yeah, it's a good process.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about those main dogs you have?
So the main dog I trial and do a bit with. He's the Harewood dog that Justin bred. He's got, I think it's Lockerbie, how you pronounce it. He was by a Lockerbie dog out of one of Justin's bitches. I've got another bitch there that's pretty much an all-rounder. I don't trial her much. She's a Mungaroo prefix, which was Jason Cooper. So she's got a bit of Jimmy Marshall stuff in it with a bit of Ricky Jones stuff and a bit of Capri stuff there as well. Justin had Kez, and he bred a dog by that. Yeah, that's which is her father. And yeah, I've got a sale dog there that I got from Harley Kenny. He's by Elvis out of a Red Lane bitch, I think, and that's probably my main three at the moment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. When you go back, there's a lot of common stuff in the background behind all those three dogs.
There is,
Yeah,
isn't there?
right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's funny how like you got dogs that are different, but like going back, like the similar stuff coming through. It's really cool.
No doubt, it all sort of comes in parallels. It's quite interesting. Yeah, that service the ladies have online with doing the extended pedigrees and that's just amazing. You know, it's just what you get out of that and see where you're going. It's just, yeah, they do a wonderful job.
You mentioned before about doing some like presenting and that, and you mentioned USD. You're on speaker a bit this year.
Yes, mate. People often, if I turn up, they often put me on the microphone. I can talk a little bit, so it's a bit of a strength of mine, I guess. So yeah, get up on the microphone, and you know, Nate's given so much to getting you know where we're at with the USD and even the Yard Dog Association. So happy to put my hand up there and jump in and give him a hand. So it was, yeah. I love the concept. I love how it was run. I love the class of competitor it brought. I think just it's, you know, I think that's the way trialing is going to go, definitely for me in the future. I just think it's a wonderful event and just highlights that all-round dog. It just really is a great format. Yeah.
When did you first get into announcing?
Oh, I've been doing charity auctions and announcing and stuff, I think for like 20 years probably. You know, if we ever got in trouble at school, I was the one that always spoke to the headmaster, and you know, it was always just happened to be me. You know, everyone's got a bit of a strength, and mine's just talking, I guess.
Yeah.
You rocked up to New South Wales this year, and like day two, someone goes, "Here's a..."
Yeah, but
Gilly Luff just threw it at you, go yard for us. It was great.
Yeah, that was probably Nathan behind the scenes going, yeah, I've nominated you to do a bit of announcing. No worries, mate. No worries at all. Let's get into it.
What do you enjoy about the announcing though? Like, I know you can talk, but like you wouldn't do it if you don't enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's nice to just explain what's going on in a bit of detail for people that don't know, and you know, it's nice for people to be talked about and highlight about a few good points of their dogs, I suppose, and gives the event a bit of atmosphere and keeps things rolling. So I just think it just adds to what we're doing. As I said, I think the Yard Dog Association's going down a bit of a transition with the judges' schools and so forth. I think Nathan and the crew there are doing a great job in driving that. So I think if we can highlight it and make it look a little bit more professional, I think it's only a good thing. It seems like a bit of a renaissance going on too. You'll go there and there'll be new people you've never seen before, and maidens and novices and encouragers with 40 to 60 entrants and dogs. It's just it really is it really is good to see.
How do you reckon we get more people behind the mic?
More people behind the
microphone to announce.
Oh, look, you probably can't push people into that if it's not their deal. There's probably no point in doing it. But yeah, it was funny at Armidale this year. One of Toomsy's nephews wanted to have a bit of a chat, so yeah, I sort of just told him a few things what I think he should say and do, and yeah, he grasped the concept really good. So that was pretty amazing, because not many people want to talk on a microphone and come and ask you for advice. So that was quite nice that happened this year. So yeah, I think just find that right person that wants to do it and go from there.
Yep.
And putting smiles on people's dials as well, right? Like once you start announcing and talking and people around having a laugh.
Yeah,
it's just like you said, you mentioned it there, you talk about the atmosphere, right?
I don't mind having a joke with people and having a bit of fun. So that's always good.
Obviously, you've mentioned the USD there a couple of times now. Like, what's an all-round dog look like to you?
Well, if he can just do those three disciplines, you take him out and trot him out, and he can get the cows around, do a job there, get in the yards, and I like I said, like a dog with a bit of strength, a bit explosive, and can get around there, and then come out into that three sheep arena if they can, just settle themselves right back down and calm enough just to put them through the obstacles as well. I think that's you don't take a dog to move the cows, a dog in the yard, and a dog to do the paddock. If they can do all three disciplines, that is the ultimate stock dog. That's what we want. So yeah, it's just got to go down that road and keep pushing to get the best type of dog we can, and that in my belief is the way we want to go.
And you think that kind of format like really supports and puts away the old trial dogs dog kind of debate?
Yeah, like I think that's just a load of bullshit. The trial dogs don't make a work dog. Everyone that I know that is at the top of the field, in especially yard dog trying in that USD, they all work their dogs day to day and know what they're doing. I haven't three sheep trial very much. I think that's a different type of dog that you need to do that. And that mightn't be the case in that instance, but, I'm not talking from experience or with any wealth of knowledge to really, to put any weight on that. But, definitely, the cattle trials and the utility trials and the yard trials like that, they're proper fair dinkum work dogs in my eyes, Yeah,
beautiful. Has doing what you do now, like with so much variation compared to what you're doing before your, let's call it hiatus. I don't even think that's the right fucking word. Anyways, has the type of dog that you like, that's the one. Has the type of dog changed?
Not really, Dan. The type of dogs that I used to get from Gary and stuff years ago, and that I had, they we same deal. We'd have to muster cattle. We'd have to, get user lambs in the paddock, and then we'd have to put them in the yard. So no, I really don't think it has. That all-round dog's always spun my wheels, and the ones that I've always gravitated to for sure.
Beautiful. You mentioned earlier that you breed a couple of dogs, mate. What is it about breeding dogs that you enjoy?
Oh God, I don't know if enjoy is the right word, because fair dinkum it is an art, isn't it? And I really haven't got a recipe yet. I've got a little bits there that's okay at the moment, but I don't know. Yeah, I definitely don't think enjoy is the right word. It's persevere with, maybe, just to try and get that right one. You see these guys that have been doing it for years, and they know, they've got a fair idea if they put this dog with that dog that they're going to get something. I really admire that and take my hat off to those guys, because that's definitely a skill that I don't possess. And yeah. just trying to get the right one, and get one you breed would be nice. But like I said, I've been buying a fair few dogs and pups lately to try them to see if I can get something I like. And just seems to be harder, coming back in from 15 years to now and seeing how the industry's changed so much. It wasn't cool to have dogs back then and to be a trialer or anything like that, or do anything on the land. You probably it wasn't cool at all. Now, trialing's cool and low stress stock handling's cool and being a dog trainer's cool and being in the country's cool. Definitely social media and things like that have definitely put weight to that. But with that, I foresee there's a few problems. There's a lot of people breeding dogs that probably shouldn't breed dogs and so forth. But that's their right to do it. But yeah, it's changed a lot. Those old hard school fellas that used to breed the dogs and where our foundation stuff come from, they were proper staunch, and everything had to be right. And I think just maybe a few traits are being let go and overlooked just to be a dog breeder and have your stud name out there and dare I say it, the sales and a bit of money in the industry too has definitely changed it as well.
Oh, money changes everything.
Well,
doesn't it?
it does, Laura, doesn't it? It's always nice. Like I said, I like selling a dog and getting paid for it too. That's quite nice, but you just got to make sure you're putting the right article up and stand behind it and make sure your description's right and your video's right and no fancy edits and go from there.
Like the stuff you just spoke about as well, like dogs and attitudes, people way people have changed. I suppose you're in a unique position where you see and are exposed to a lot of that still through not just your clientele, but also like in terms of vendors, but also the people purchasing. What do you think's brought a lot of those trends on?
The trends, you mean like the sale of the dogs,
like
and
the sale of dogs, like all of that?
Well, I guess it comes back to productivity nowadays, isn't it? The world's changed, and time is important now. You need to buy time nowadays. Where you look at an old fence and the old battens were done with an old, the old borer that was done by hand, and if it took all day to drill 10 battens, it took all day to drill 10 battens. Now we've got machines and fencing things. Time is so critical. With labour shortages and cost of productions and stuff like that. So that's definitely changed how we do things. I think has brought that around. So people are educated and smarter and want to get things done quicker and with less labour units. So it's just times have changed, and the rural industry's had to follow.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned there before that you've been purchasing pups. You think, and that you're more persevere than enjoy breeding. You think that's something you're gonna follow that line for a little bit longer rather than punch a few out yourself?
Oh no, I'll still keep trying a few things myself. But if I see a dog or something I like, I definitely chase a pup if I can and go from there. No, I think we just got to keep trying things till you really find something you like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who you mentioned that you said before that. Yeah. You're right. Go.
Well, on the same point, if I see a dog and I think we can breed something, I'll definitely go down that track as well. So, not closed off to anything at the moment. We'll try just about anything at the moment from anyone and just see how it goes.
You're still leaning on the same network of people around you for advice on that as well?
Yeah, for sure. I went to Gundagai the other day, you said, and down south and met a few different guys down there and spoke to a few people. It's probably opened my network a bit. I learn a lot down there. Seen a lot of dogs that I'd only heard about, hadn't seen. So, yeah, that was good. Definitely opened my network up and speaking to a few other people, which has been good. And I recommend that to anybody too. If you haven't been out off your home turf, get out and have a look around and go talk to some other people. And yeah, it's been most beneficial to me anyway.
That's cool, mate. How do you go about picking your own pup if it's one that you've homebred?
Oh, look, I've mentioned Milo's name before, and Toomsy's. They've, both got Milo definitely more so. It's got a bit of a recipe there, a few tests, give it a go. So we try that first and foremost, and then just go from there and just see if you'll get along. And you can normally see things pretty easy. And one thing I try not to do anymore is make excuses for myself and for the dogs. You hear plenty of people say he's only 18 months old, but he might come good and stuff like that. Like you normally can see those traits in a pup, and when they're young, if you put a bit of pressure on them, not by jumping up and down on them or anything like that, but do that and don't make excuses. Shift them on early and go from there, and just keep trying to get the best dog that you want to do, instead of just making excuses for it that generally end up pulling your hair out at 12 months old and think I should have got rid of it at 3 when I knew it was going to do that anyway. So
Yeah. Do you have a criteria as such, or something you like to see in your bitch before you breed?
Oh, just that general work. Once again, if they can do all the disciplines and handy, that's they got the work in it. And have a bit of a look at the pedigree, make sure there's no spiders or anything in there, and go from there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you've mentioned a few times, like that all-round sort of dog.
Yeah.
Are you saying that for you to breed from a bitch, you want to see it doing everything? Like, you wouldn't just say, "Oh, I've got this really cool yard bitch, so I'll breed from her."
I think does that make sense? Look, just depends on the genetic makeup and what's behind there. But like I said, I can't seem to call that like other people can. But if there's enough depth in the breeding, maybe. But you go to someone, and I've been to a few good schools, and I'm not going to name drop because I think that's another thing people do, that you breed the best from the best and go from there. So if it's only one-sided in the discipline and not the three, well, it's probably really not what I really want. The genetics can, you can get something from that, but I don't think it'd be something that I'd really want to get too excited up if it was just really one-sided.
Yeah. So you're really breeding for yourself.
Well, I'm not a puppy farmer by any chance. I want to breed for myself, and if there's a few extras, we normally just. I used to sell a few and get rid of a fair few, and I sold a dog and made pretty good money and thought I was going to be, the next best thing in the dog world and breed all these pups and make a living out of it. But, halfway through the second litter, when I had the other litter still on the ground, my head was about to blow up. I went, well, this is just not for me, I'm not just going to breed pups. I'm going to breed pups to get the one I want and go from there. It just. I don't know how people can do it to themselves. I definitely haven't got the mindset and the brain capacity to do it, but plenty of people seem to be out there and breed multiple litters and be able to sell them and can tell a story, and, good luck to them, but it's just not where I'm at now.
No, I just love how honest you are about that. Like, it's not for you, so it's not for you. Like, it's cool.
It's definitely not for me, No, not at all. I've got too many dogs at the moment. I've got too many young dogs, so it's time to have a bit of a clean out again and move a few on and change a few things about it. Just get that one dog, do the process, and make them good. It's that simple.
Yeah.
For someone like yourself that has exposure to so many people that utilize dogs, what advice, do you see yourself giving to people, or hear yourself giving to people when they're looking to purchase a dog, their first or something that their team?
Well, it's definitely, you've got to see the parents, I think, and it's be something that's attracted you to them to go to that person, or, be a long-standing dog breeder with a reputation that stands behind it. Plenty of people are selling dogs today and it's not quite what someone wants and go to take it back and they won't give a refund. I think that's a bit ordinary. You've got to guarantee your dogs or your pups if that's what you're doing, to some extent, of course, but make sure they do a bit of homework on the breeder and what they're doing. Go have a look. I drove to Cowra the other day to pick up a pup to choose the pup I wanted. It was a day and a half exercise, but I picked it. It's on me now. It's not on someone else picking one for me. You know what I mean? If you want to do something, and you want to get something good and you want to be good at it, you've got to spend the time. I say to the boys, do the miles and get the smiles. It's pretty simple. If you stay at home and you get someone and picks it up and brings it here, and you think, oh, well, I should have picked it. Well, that's on you. Yeah.
No, absolutely, mate. Do you have a particular age that you like to see them doing particular things?
Oh, early the better. I like those dogs that switch on early and show you something. When they're very young. Yeah, for sure.
And you mentioned before about one of the things you've had to learn is like not holding on or making excuses.
Yeah.
So when do you start to really start to tick and go, oh, I've got to start with this particular dog? Like, have you got an age, or is it just something you like to see?
I think you got to make the call early. If you start seeing things you don't like, even at like 6, 8, 12 weeks, there's just no point. I don't think there's any point. I've heard a lot of stories about good dogs, people saying they don't come good to their 12 months old, 2-year-old, and well and good. And, I've probably got rid of dogs that have turned out to be real good early, but yeah, just a few that I've got that are probably good's not the right word, but are okay. They've always switched on early and showed me something early. And, they've always been tough enough at that age, strong enough in the mind, and got that desire to switch on to stock. It's pretty simple, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Ideal training setup that you like to start in?
I've just got a square pen at home. It's pretty simple. Yeah, nothing too flash. Just start them in that. Start getting them going around, and then get them to follow me about. No, it's pretty basic. I think one thing I've done with switching methods and using Milo's methods is just keep things simple and just do the basics and do it well.
Good advice, man. For someone that valve bounces a bit like yourself, like how much time do you actually get to put into your young dogs?
Oh, I've definitely been pretty committed. Coming out of winter's been a bit tough, and there's a few little jobs, but definitely try and get, when I get committed, I switch on, and it's nearly every morning and every afternoon. I sort of did that with my older dog too. I wasn't doing very well with him, just sort of didn't have the right handle on him. So it was a morning and night exercise till I got in a position, where I was lucky to make finals and do stuff just in a trialing arena to where, I could make a final and start placing up. And it was just, just doing work. It was just do the work, effort equals reward, get committed and get it done. And it paid off. It's just that simple. You can't have a good dog or train a good dog or put the work in if you're going to sit on the couch. It won't happen.
No, absolutely. Mate, being involved in the auctions, do you like a dog that backs or works the outside of a race?
Look, when I did a lot of work on farms and stuff, we used to work the outside of the races a lot. Now we sort of don't really have that opportunity to back the outside of races and stuff, especially penning up when you're in the sheep yards and stuff, getting ready for sale. So the dog's really got to back and come back through their sheep. Yep. And I love a dog that just loves getting in there, rolling his sleeves up, and just comes back through and looks at you and goes, please send me again. That's the sort of dog I want. Yeah.
I thought I'd ask that question because I thought it would have been like something that, when it's dirt, like a bit of rain around and that, if you want to keep them off the back of the sheep, just keep them a little bit more whiter and fluffy.
Yes.
Yeah. Kind of.
You just be a little bit careful on those sort of days, definitely, Dan, that you don't want to have them too dirty and maybe manhandle them a bit. But just work the sides of the yards and keep them down. Once again, that dog that wants to push around the outside and get in there and roll his sleeves up, that's the same sort of dog.
Having those dogs with a bit of dog in them, like you've mentioned tonight, and obviously that's what you dig. Do you find yourself having to put a bit more effort into teaching them the cast when they're a little younger?
Yeah, yes and no. I don't really need a big cast in a dog to do what I do, but it's always nice to have that nice dog that will break out and kick out, but then, he's got gravel in his guts when you put him in the yard too, isn't it? So, yeah, maybe a little bit more work, but, it's just genetics and environment. And if they genetically got it in, well, you don't really have to change the environment. But if they haven't, then you change the environment. So, yeah, for sure.
Any special techniques to try and create that bit of cast, mate?
Oh, I just think what everyone else does, mate. Sit them and make them come around you, or an obstacle to get them out. I don't think there's any other way. If there's a sharper way anyone knows, please let me know. But that's just keep them off. I don't think there's any other real way. But no doubt, maybe those 3 sheep fellas have got something else and a lot smarter than me in breaking a dog in for sure.
Mate, you've mentioned trialing there a couple of times, or a few times tonight. What is it about trialing? Even if you're not behind the mic, like what is it that you love about it?
Oh, look,
'Cause every time you've mentioned it, you've had your big smile.
Oh, first and foremost, it's hanging out with this, like-minded people that love doing what you do and having a chat about it. It's you always think you got a good dog, and you always think you got things going pretty good, and then you step out amongst your peers, and the first few times you go there, you go, yeah, I'm pretty shit compared to these people. I better do a bit more work. Neville King said an old fella told him, go home and get better. Don't whinge, just go home and get better. So that was definitely, the advice I took from him from one Armidale trial once. And, just go home and work hard and then step up and see how you go. But, yeah, I love the competition side of things as well. You obviously you don't go out there to lose, so you're always going out there to win. But, yeah, just watching you and your dog improve, get better and, making sure everyone that steps out there, they know that you're there and you're going to have a fair crack and put on a good show for the day.
And cool. I know you've just become a novice judge as well. How are you looking forward to judging, or sort of what made you step up to become a judge?
Well, I just think that, we need more judges, especially up here. We haven't got the saturation of people that you guys have down south, and we don't have the trials that you have down there. So definitely need to help out there. I don't know if I'm excited, being that, my concentration might waver pretty quick. It's going to be something I have to focus on. But, yeah, definitely help them out. We've got probably 4 or 5 judges up here, and it's probably not fair on them that they've got to step up and they miss out a lot of the times because they're judging. So, just roll the sleeves up and get in and give them a hand and try and get them having a few more runs and, enjoying what we do instead of having to put the tie on and get the clicker out every weekend.
Yeah. You might end up on the clicker and on the microphone all at once, yeah?
I had too many things to do once for me, Laura. I couldn't handle that. And once again, go back to the Yard Dog Association with the new judges schools and stuff. Great initiative to put a system in place there to help bring people through the ranks and get them in a position where they're up to speed. And we're all reading from the same page. I think it's just a great idea. And fellas like Chris Sherwood and Dean Incher and Justin Toombs, Billy Luff, Chris Stapleton, and those sort of guys, Steve Condell, running schools. They're the industry's best, and you go and you get to hang out with them for a day and listen to how they do it and watch what they do. I think that in itself for your trialing's invaluable, let alone to become a judge. So I really do respect what the association's doing there.
Yeah. No, absolutely, mate. Like, for someone that has personally been judging for a couple of years now, I actually attended a school over the weekend, and mate, the professionalism and the camaraderie that come along with it was a really well-oiled machine. They're doing a fantastic job.
No doubt. Yeah, I really enjoyed the day. It was a terrible day for ours. It was gale force winds, but other than that, it was a great day.
I won't tell you how perfect our day was then. Don't do
that.
It was a cracking day out in Dubbo. Mate, obviously someone that enjoys being around people, loves the camaraderie. What makes a good trial, like besides the people?
Oh, I think a trial where, the livestock may be a little bit telling. A lot of people want to go to trials and score 95s and 98s and stuff like that. I like those ones where they're, you're struggling to get 60s and 70s. Some stage things are really tough, and you've really got to think and really work it out and nut it out and push it, push the limits a bit. I really think that's important, and I like associations and clubs that make things a little bit different and a bit harder. I think that's a great idea where a lot of, certain types of trials, it's the same course wherever you go, left-handed, then to right-hand. I just think changing things up, doing things different and getting out of your comfort zone is good for you and good for the sport and good for your dog. Yeah.
Absolutely. Mate, you've mentioned, obviously, the USD a couple of times tonight because you like the variety in that all-around dog. Have you had a crack at utility trolling?
Well, I did last year. Late last year, I had a crack at a utility trial and went okay. So they ran one at Walker. The guys at Walker run a cattle trial and a yard trial at their show. I'm pretty sure around February, and they ran a utility in December last year. Went and had a crack at that. So yeah, really enjoyed that. Yeah. Got a bit lucky, but yeah, really enjoyed it.
Mate, for a bloke that doesn't mind being in the spotlight, do you get any nerves when you're the one behind the gate when you're trialing?
Terribly. On the weekend, we had a trial and my legs started to tremble, and yeah, I do suffer nerves. So obviously we all do it because we get a bit of a buzz out of it. But yeah, for sure, it'll put a bit of pressure on myself. The old heart rate gets up, and like I say, the old knee starts to shake a little bit, and the hand starts to shake a bit. So yeah. Pretty funny to be in the moment and realise that that's happening. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
For someone that's done a bit like north and done a few south now, is there something you've noticed since coming back into it that you noticed? Let's call them maiden novice or people new to sport tend to struggle with.
Oh, I think it's just that overall handle. I don't know if they're just doing enough work early with their dogs and, having those sides on them and putting them where they want. And I don't know if anyone else sees this, but if someone tells a dog to sit once, they tell it to sit 5 times and it still doesn't sit. I don't know if it's becoming a crutch or a nervous thing or something with people, but, I think there's, just a few issues there. But, obviously as they get better, those things progress and they get better at doing that. But, yeah, probably just comes back to that blueprint, get that blueprint on them early and make sure they're doing what you ask them and go from there.
Oh, awesome, mate. No doubt you're speaking with a variety of people. A lot of them would be employers. What advice would you give to someone that wanted to establish a career or pursue a career in the livestock industry?
Well, I think do as many courses and get as much experience as you can. I know whenever I'm doing something, try and pick the best person in the field that's as closer to you and start hanging out with them. It's pretty simple. Surround yourself with the people who you want to be like and go from there. It's, shoot pretty high, go for the best. And most people are willing to give you the time and the energy. If you're enthusiastic and you've got a bit of drive and they can see that you want to learn, I can't see many people that would knock you back and say that they couldn't help you. I just think, just surround yourself with the right people. There's that many forums and podcasts and stuff nowadays to self-educate. There's no real excuse why you shouldn't be, up to speed to do what you want to do.
That's great.
Great advice, mate. Very good advice.
How about anyone to jump on Dog Talk?
I'd love to get Toomsy on there, but I know he doesn't. It's not his thing, and you've probably asked him 50 times now. But when you're getting going and start listening to him, he is great. He really is good, and I enjoy just watching what he does, let alone when he starts talking. So it'd be cool to have him on, but probably it's not going to happen. But anyway,
well, if you keep on him up there, I'll keep on him down here. And that's
no point. I'll try, mate. I'll try, but I don't know it's going to happen.
Well, you got one up on him now, right? Like you manned up and had a crack, so it's time for him to do the same.
See how we go.
Man up. Words. You got to choose your words correctly.
That's the okay. Mate, appreciate you jumping on, having a yarn with us tonight. Thanks to our sponsors, Enduro, for supporting the show, Keggers Livestock Services as well. But Laura's not going to let you go that easy.
As always, would you rather fight one duck the size of a horse or 20 horses the size of ducks, and why?
I don't think I'd discriminate. Just bring them all on at once and just see how we go. I'm pretty punchy, so I'd get knocked out pretty quick. But let's just go at them all. Is my approach.
All or nothing. Have a crack.
All or nothing. Just have a crack and see what happens.
Love it, mate. Mate, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate you putting yourself out, still hanging out at work there for us. Brushed your hair, had a shower. Mate, you put yourself out for us. Thank you.
Mate, my
Really
pleasure.
appreciate
And it's a great thing what you guys are doing. Keep it up. And, yeah, it's good. It highlights our dog industry and what's happening in it. So I think it's a very positive thing you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you. To everyone listening, whether you're live or listening back, thank you. And please remember, we learn every day, and the day we stop learning from each other will be a sad one. Thanks, guys.